We organized this convening because it fits perfectly with the work we've been doing on civil society sustainability. We thought that the discussion of alternative funding models was a discussion that we needed to be part of and initiate and convene around. As you know, civil society is evolving, and the conditions in which civil society is evolving means that there's a need for us to think about new ways of financing the work that we do. A lot of the traditional ways of funding, in terms of the support we receive from grants and receive from other traditional means like membership dues and fundraising events, are not sufficient enough for the work that we do. So right now we're coming together because we know that it's important for us to diversify our funding and important for us to come together to learn new ideas and new ways of mobilizing funding. I think the fact that this convening was able to bring people from all over Africa is extremely important, because most of the time when we congregate regionally, because of course WACSI is a regional organization. But the fact that we partnered with the Innovation for Change Hub Afrique, which enabled us to pull people from North Africa, from Central Africa, from East Africa, and from Southern Africa was vital, especially for the organizations who were represented here from West Africa, to learn from some of the initiatives and the approaches and the ways other organizations were performing in different contexts is important. And also to build a collective momentum of putting this whole issue of financial sustainability for civil society on the development agenda. And it's important for us to all have a collective voice. So I believe that as a regional connector to Innovation for Change, this is a process we wanted to facilitate in order to leverage on the strength of WACSI as a convener, but also on the potential membership and reach of Innovation for Change Hub Afrique. Yeah, so as a regional connector, one of our key roles is to ensure that we facilitate mobilization, information exchange, and learning between members of Innovation for Change. Innovation for Change Hub Afrique itself is based in Kenya, and we are the West Africa regional connector. And so because we're the West Africa regional connector, what we're trying to do is to facilitate engagement with Innovation for Change for West African civil society organizations. And one of our roles is to create an environment of learning, to facilitate spaces for reflection, to facilitate opportunities for civil society to network and to learn from each other. You'll notice that most of the work we do is very much activity driven and very much reporting heavy. And so most of the time we don't get the opportunities to do this kind of reflection and exchange. And what we're trying to do as WACSI is to be more deliberate about creating these spaces for reflection and for exchange. And so that's why we put together this convening. So I think the most important thing is to apply what we've learned, but what we're trying to do to facilitate that application is to develop a guidebook and to develop a reference material that is going to capture the various funding models and experiences that were shared at this conference. So the idea is to create a learning resource, to create a reference document that civil society can use broadly. Whether you work in social justice, health, education, etc., you'll find that this guidebook will be relevant for you. And so this is the key product that we want to get out of this convening. But further to that, I think it's also a contribution to the discussion on financial sustainability, which is something that is being talked about within civil society circles, both globally and continentally, and even nationally. And so I think this is a key contribution to that. We will continue as WACSI to engage in these issues, because one of our key roles as a convener, as a capacity builder, as a facilitator, is to ensure that civil society is sustainable and representing the aspirations of the citizens.